August 10th, 1999.
Inside the area, there still might be something going on, and they're not taking any chances.
Buford Furrow walks into the lobby of the North Valley Jewish Community Center in Granada Hills and unloads 70 shots into the complex. 5 people are wounded, 3 children, a teenaged counselor, and an office worker. June 10th, 2009. 88-year-old white supremacist James Von Braun enters the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. and guns down a security guard. October 29th, 2009. A lone teenager opens fire in a Los Angeles synagogue parking lot. 2 men are wounded as they entered the synagogue for morning prayers.
We felt it was important to come together today, not just as Jewish members, but as members of Congress who represent districts across the United States of America.
Now, the Jewish reaction to a lot of this, quite frankly, the knee-jerk liberal reaction to a lot of this, which I hope will cease to be synonymous with the Jewish reaction.
We've seen gunmen go into daycare centers and shoot children.
This is not just an issue directed at American Jews.
Is that we can prevent these sorts of things with what is commonly known as gun control. We can take guns off the streets and these things will stop happening.
This simply cannot happen and cannot continue to happen.
Gun control laws in California and Washington, D.C. are some of the most stringent in the nation. As an ex-convict, it was illegal for Buford Furrow to own a firearm. Yet, when he arrived at the Jewish Community Center, he had 5 rifles in his possession. As a convicted felon, it was illegal for James Von Braun to own a firearm. Yet, when he entered the Holocaust Museum, he openly carried a rifle. Gun control laws only affect law-abiding citizens. Gun control laws only aid criminals by keeping self-defense weaponry out of the hands of their intended victims.
It is my opinion that every Jew, and I mean every Jew, should know how to shoot a gun. And Jews who are physically and psychologically fit to do so should own guns, should train in using them properly for defensive purposes, and under appropriate circumstances should even be carrying them.
In an effort to educate people, Rabbi Ben-Dori regularly conducts classes on firearm safety and proper use.
This is why you always treat the gun as if it's loaded, period.
The goal, to understand and respect firearms for what they are, a tool for defensive purposes.
In my experience, most Jews associate guns with violence simply because we have no experience with guns as Jews in this country. And our historical memory of guns is being at the wrong end of the barrel.
Many Jews see themselves as victims. They see the world as a scary and threatening place in which they are helpless. According to psychiatrist Sarah Thompson, the reason for this behavior is an instinctive defensive mechanism called projection. Defense mechanisms psychologically protect people from feelings they cannot consciously accept. The fear of hate crimes, bigotry, or the Holocaust. These intolerable feelings are then projected onto an inanimate object, such as a gun, so the projector believes the gun itself commits a crime. Victimization also gives a group identity. By claiming victim status, members of a group receive special treatment. They believe there's no alternative but to remain a victim forever. Therefore, they must count on the group to speak on their behalf and protect them. Groups like the Anti-Defamation League, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Violence Policy Center, or the Million Mom March rely on their membership's victim status. It's not in their best interest to promote self-defense, even though the research clearly demonstrates firearm ownership is the most effective way to protect law-abiding citizens and their families. Many of these groups promote the popular belief less guns means less violence. To some, this assumption seems to make sense. But the evidence proves just the opposite. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, every day 550 rapes and 1,100 murders are prevented just by the intended victim showing a gun. That's over 600,000 people each year that stop a serious crime before it happens without ever firing a shot. In a firearm study of polled felons, the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics also found that 57% of felons agree criminals are more worried about meeting an armed victim than they are about running into the police. If self-defensive weapons are banned, how will citizens protect themselves? Are the police equipped to protect citizens at a moment's notice? The average response time to a 911 call is 10 minutes or more. Every perpetrator knows this and plans their attacks accordingly. Can the police actually adjust their priorities to provide added security during Jewish holidays? Even the Supreme Court has ruled that state and local governments do not have an obligation to protect citizens from criminal harm. So, can the police really protect us? In London, where handguns have been banned since 1997, the London Evening Standard reports that 2 years following the ban, handgun crimes rose by 40%. Violent crime in the United Kingdom has increased 44%, from 618,000 in 1998 to more than 879,000 crimes in March 2010. The British government and police once again claimed they could protect the people. The Australian gun ban of 1997 confirms similar results. While armed assault rates and armed murder rates remain the same, robbery and armed robbery actually rose from 1997 through 2002, then leveled off to the same rates as before the gun ban. A study recently published by the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy finds nations with stringent anti-gun laws have higher murder rates than those that do not. In Western Europe, Norway has one of the highest rates of gun ownership. It also has the lowest murder rate. In contrast, Luxembourg has one of the highest murder rates, but handguns are banned. In Russia, where private firearms were banned under communist rule, the study shows the murder rate is 4 times higher than in the US and 20 times higher than Norway. So how can this be? If the belief that less guns means less violence is true, then murder rates should decline. The data proves it doesn't. Many anti-gun advocates are quick to point out that nations that have banned firearms have fewer murders by handguns. They dismiss the fact that the overall murder rate remains consistent. They dismiss the fact that it is the human being, not the weapon, that commits murder.